Are you a new project manager or a project coordinator feeling a little overwhelmed and not sure where to start? What if I told you that the secret doesn't lie in endless resources of cutting edge technology, but it is mastering a few crucial skills? In this episode today, we're going to break down, unpack, divide the essential skills you need to master in order to excel in this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management. Today is going to be a great day. Why you say that, ED? Because we are going to give it everything we got as we do every day. So let's get it. Today's episode is entitled Mastering Project Management Essential Skills for New PMs and Coordinators. If you're new to the channel, I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, listen, that just simply means Ed. I have an 8-point framework, and these 8 points, my goal, my mission, my job today is to unpack that title. So, family, what we're going to do is so I had some recommendations that they were saying, hey, ED, we don't talk about, uh, like, I would love to see a transcript, or I would love to see some slides or something so I could tie the points in. And after I sat back, I said, I got you. So we're going to test this out. We're going to see how the family responds to this. And if you guys like it, maybe we'll do more of this. And again, we are live currently right now. So let's have some fun and see what we can do. Point number 1. Influencing and network, or like what I like to say, develop a strong influencing and network skills. What does that mean? The ability to build relationships at the same time using influencing techniques like persuasion, inspirational appeal, collaboration. All of these things, family, is really to gain the support during the whole project initiative. One of the things I enjoy doing here is really participating in cross functional teams. But there's a difference. Sometimes when you participate in cross functional teams, the opportunity to really have a true synergy when it comes to collaboration sometimes can be missed. So what I recommend is that you want to ensure that you focus on, if there's there's like a company-wide event, attend those company-wide events, attend those workshops, those social gatherings. The whole point, family, is you want to be working on building relationships so you can expand your personal network. Let's move on to point number 2. Point number 2, communicating and reporting, or as I would like to say, cultivating effective project communication and reporting skills. What does that look like? First of all, you want to ensure that you develop a comprehensive project communication plan that identifies the stakeholders' information needs, as well as the communication channels. I don't know how many times I've come across where there's so many different communication channels, and you're like, wait a minute, we need to find some standards here. It's like somebody say, hey, don't talk to me through via email, send it to me in Teams, and you're like, okay, good. But what about all these other people? But you still, let me back a little bit. You still want to be able to do that, family. You still want to be able to identify these communication channels, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself where it goes from really being collaborative to having to cater. There's a difference. One of the terminology, or one of the sayings that I always say, is there's a difference between being used and misused. See, when you are used, that means that we are both using each other in a way that is effective, that's positive. It's not that I'm trying to be selfish and you're not trying to be selfish. But when I'm misused, that means the other person is getting all of the benefit, all of the advantage, all of the opportunity, and then not giving back. And so I always say, what you want to ensure is that you are tailoring your communication style and content to your specific audience. Always say, know your audience. This is a good example. The family was saying, hey, I want to see some some PowerPoints, or is there any type of, did you put, can I get a transcript or anything? So I said, hey, well, let's put some slides together so you guys can see kind of what my mind, what I was thinking of when I was putting this piece together. Let's move on to point number three. Point number three, develop strong facilitation and workshop management skills. Listen, facilitation technique is going to be key, especially when you're in group discussions, brainstorming sessions, as well as, most of all, actually making a decision. What I love about this, family, is that this is why I say project management, and I know I'm being biased here, so you have to excuse me. I really believe project management is one of those skill sets that is so transferable, because you could go and facilitate a workshop because you've led projects, and so you understand the planning aspects, you understand the engagement aspect, and then most of all, leveraging that foundational principle of having the ability to facilitate effectively. One of the actionable items that I would recommend is to attend workshops where you have an opportunity to interact and do leverage some of those facilitation skills and techniques. A lot of new project managers or project coordinators, this is really key for you. If you're able to get into an organization and basically connect and work with a project manager, or you may even have your own project, but the ability to really facilitate conversations. When do you get involved into a conversation? When you have two stakeholders having dialogue and it becomes at a point where you can hear the tone of their voice continue to rise and it becomes very aggressive. Do you jump in? And you learn this over time, when to jump in and when just to let it go. And because the conversation is not toxic, it is healthy, because both of these stakeholders are getting out of their system, as they would say, what is actually going on. And you always want to create an environment like that, where it's very transparent, where you have the opportunity to be very upfront with your individuals. All right, let's move on to point number four. Point number four. One thing I love to say about point number four that's huge, because I think a lot of times you can skip over it, is stakeholder management. You want to be able to master the art of stakeholder engagement and expectation management. What does that look like, ED? Well, you want to identify, as we know, when you look at the 49 processes in the initiating phase, is two actual processes. One is develop the project charter and integration. The second one is under stakeholder management, which is identify stakeholders. So you want to be able to identify, prioritize stakeholders based on their actual influence, impact, and interest in the project. Listen again: influence, impact, and interest in the project. Why did I have to say that again? The reason why I said that, family, is I want you guys to understand, sometimes you can discard stakeholders saying, I don't think we're going to need them. And then you get further along in the project and you realize, doggone it, we do need them. So what I always recommend is have the ability to bring in and release stakeholders as required. I know I may get in trouble from that from some project managers, but that is the real truth. Because when you have the opportunity to, let's say you have, and I'll use this as an example because I really want to help you guys here. And let's say you have 20 stakeholders, and then you go so you're in the initiating phase, and then you go to the planning phase. And then when you're in the planning phase, you're like, oh, you know what? We probably only need 15. And then when you get to the execution, out of that 15, we really need a good 10. And you just start identifying this. And sometimes you'll have some stakeholders that are very transparent with you and say, I don't think I won't be able to have any influence, impact, or interest in helping this particular project. So it'd probably be in both of our best interests, because I don't want to waste your time and you don't want me to waste your time. So what I always recommend is develop targeted engagement strategies for each stakeholder group. And listen, family, consider their communication preferences again and information as needed. One of the things you don't want to do is, when you're proactively managing stakeholders, You need to set expectation. We all know when a stakeholder gets frustrated. Wait, let's just park there. When you have certain expectations and then they're not met, what tends to happen? You become frustrated because there was a certain expectation. If we had an expectation that you were going to be here at 8 and you didn't show up at 8, I'm going to be frustrated because I had an expectation that you were going to be here at 8 and you show up at 10. So again, you want to proactively manage these stakeholders' expectation. You don't want them to get too high, but you don't want them to get too low either. Let's move on to point number 5. Point number 5, project closing. What you want to do, family, is ensure you're developing an effective project closing and transitioning skills. One of the things I do when I'm planning for a project closer from the outset, excuse me, is I ensure I'm defining clear acceptance criteria as well as deliverables. Then you look at my artifacts. So I want to make sure all project documentations are there, including lessons learned, including final reports, including all, and making sure all these artifacts are archived effectively. We call them OPAs. What is that? Organizational process assets. This is where they should go. And you want to facilitate a smooth transition of the project deliverables to the relevant stakeholders or operational teams. So again, family, when you look at this, you look at the transition plan, you look at the knowledge transfer, you look at the lessons learned. All of this encompasses the opportunity to build a better team when it comes to when you're actually closing the project. All right, point number 6. Cultivate a strong understanding of project governance and compliance. Well, here's a shameless plug. I do have a new book that is coming out on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. The book is called The Magnetic PMO. If you know what a PMO is, Project Management Office, this book is going to be around the mindset of governance and compliance. This is going to be around the mindset of support from your executive leadership. This is going to be around the mindset of project managers integrating and working with their PMO effectively. So I'm excited about this new book, and this is going to, and reason why I'm excited is because I really think this magnetic series that I'm putting together, these books are really around the mindset. When you get the mindset down, it doesn't matter about the artifacts, because you'll know what, oh, okay, I know I'm at the beginning of the project. I know I need, if I don't, I need a business case. And then, well, basically, I don't get authorized until a project charter is completely filled out. So you start picking up on those in the jargon. But really, a lot of times what is missed, especially as new project coordinators or new project managers coming in, is the mindset. So that is why I focus on the mindset a lot, especially here through these various episodes that I put out, because I want to ensure that it doesn't matter what the project is, because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, family. What matters is your ability to adapt and adjust. Okay, I'm sorry, that was my little rant. All right, cultivate a strong understanding of project governance and compliance. You want to familiarize yourself with the organization's project governance framework. What does that look like? Meaning including the policies, the procedures, the approval process. Do they have to approve you per stage gate? Meaning after you get your charter completed in initiation, do they need to approve that? When you get in planning and you have your project management plan together, does that need to get approved? So understanding those approval processes. Also, ensure that project adheres to relevant industry standards and regulations and best practices. As I stated before, is one of the biggest things is that I think you can miss that if you haven't had to work with compliance. So I always like to engage compliance to see, hey, is there anything regarding this project that may be compliance related? So here's a good takeaway for you, family. What I would recommend is create a compliance checklist that actually outlines the governance requirements and regular review of project adherence. All right, family. Point number 8. I said point number 8. Point number 7, excuse me. The master the art of effective meetings. What does that mean? Meeting management. Okay, do you like that one better? Basically, what you want to do, family, is ensure you have an agenda together, and then ensuring time management, making sure the meeting is on track as well as productive. I've shared one of the secret tips that I do. Here's the secret sauce: is I have a purpose and I have an outcome. What are we looking to achieve out of this meeting? Are great as well, but I've seen that I've gotten more out of the team when I had an outcome. Hey, we're coming here. We need to identify who are the resources that are going to be assisting from a cross-functional aspect. We need to make sure that the budget that we've agreed on, that we are aligned there. The last and final thing, we always want to look at risk and or issues. Where are we at on these risks and or issues that are on the risk register or the issue log? And then after all of that, the ability to follow up, meaning meeting recap. But one of the things is that I love to do, family, is I love to send my meeting recap the next business day. Why? Everybody has slept. Why? Because people are not going to pay attention. Why? Because I feel like it's the most effective way. Just my point. Just that is subjective. Let's move on to point number 8. Point number 8: develop strong analytical and problem solving skills. Family, this right here, about to have my Cat Williams moment, this right here. But no, seriously, the ability to use data driven approaches to analyze project performance, for instance, identifying trends. And by making informed decisions, not choices, we've been down this road before, but the ability to make decisions. And then when you have a complex problem, let's break that down into smaller, manageable components and develop a systematic approach to it. Listen, analytical skills, critical thinking, problem solving strategies are key components for project managers and project coordinators. You need to be able to jump in, and you may not even have the right solution to the actual problem. However, you still need to participate. You never know that that solution you think, oh, that'll never work. You should probably put it out there to the team and allow them to poke holes at it, allow them to unpack it in a way that you're like, well, I guess they were right. But listen, family, you don't want to get caught up focusing on on why it won't go right, all the things that are going to go wrong, and you miss out on the opportunity on what can and will go right. All right, family, let me give you one of my bonuses. Um, Foster a culture of accountability and ownership with the team. When you have a culture of accountability and ownership, what happens? Here's three pieces. First of all, role definition. When the team understands their roles, what they're responsible for, why they need to, why they're here for the project. I'm telling you, we don't have any overlap, no miscues. The second one, ownership encouragement. What you want to do is encourage teams to take ownership. Own this. This is yours. I'm coming to you. I, as a project manager, I'm coming to you. I'm not coming to 13. I'm coming to you to see where we're at. And then I'm going to start going down my 7 whys. Why are we behind schedule? Why haven't we not escalate this? So I'm going to drill you with questions. So it's important that we take full ownership, and me as a project manager taking full ownership. And then on top of that, having a system in place to track progress and holding team members accountable for their commitments. One of the things I've shared with you before that I'm actually going to do a video on is called a RAID Q log. The RAID Q log. I love putting a lot of stuff in there. Reason why I like it is because it's very high level, and then the more details I'll put in there. For instance, the RAID Q log stands for risk, action items, issues, decisions, and the Q, of course, for questions. Of course, you have your risk register and your issue log. However, I also like having also take some of that context and put it in my RAID Q log for a high level, just to say, hey guys, we're still dealing with these same risks. Because sometimes I've watched project managers have risk registers or issue logs, and you could go to that risk register or issue log and you say, well, where's the context to say last time it was reviewed, and it was only reviewed never. So anyway, I digress. I won't take you down there. But what you want to do, family, is establish regular cadence of status updates and check-ins to ensure team members are progressing as expected and address any particular challenges proactively. All right, let's move on to one more bonus. You know, I couldn't let you down, family. I want to over deliver today or Monday. So, develop a strong understanding of change management strategies. Recognize that change is inevitable, meaning change is going to happen. You want to be able to be transparent in how you communicate. And when you communicate, you want to ensure you are articulating the highlights, meaning being clearly articulating the highlights of the reasons, the benefits, and the impacts, and then putting together a change management plan, outlining the process for requesting, evaluating, implementing the actual change, and then, of course, conducting an impact analysis, seeing how the actual change really affected the triple constraints, which we know are scope, schedule, budget, and actual quality. All right, family. I'm really excited here. Here are my three closing remarks, family. First of all, develop a strong influence in networking skills. The ability to really network network and influence, it's gonna take you far in this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management. Just being able to build positive relationships and collaborate with people. And you never know, you may see them down the line and they may need you for something, or you may need them, and they're willing to work with you because you set the tone and you built a positive relationship. Effective meeting management, meaning basically mastering the ability to set a clear objection. Why are we at this meeting? Hey, well, we're at this meeting. This is the purpose or reason why we're here. Well, what are we supposed to be doing? Hey, I have three outcomes that what I'm looking to get out of this meeting. Is there anybody else that have any other outcomes? And normally I'll do that a day before if I needed to get some stakeholders feedback. And then, of course, stakeholder engagement mastery. Listen, without people, it will be challenging to lead an effective project because you really need resources to assist you and as you move forward. So again, going back to establishing positive relationship with stakeholders. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm super excited because I've had an opportunity to actually do this more from a with some slides, because I know people were again asking for it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I enjoyed delivering it today. So if you like that particular aspect, I'll do more of this, going live and actually delivering the content fresh off the market, as we would say. Well, you know my slogan, you know my motto. I really appreciate you rocking with me and taking the time out your day to watch today's episode. I hope it is impactful, but most of all, family, this is what I always ask of you. I hope that you take this information and not just listen to it. I hope that you take this information and apply it, test it out, see what fits your personality. Until next time, you know my name. I go by the name of ED, and I'm out.